This is the infamous brown sugar boba ice cream bar, and we're gonna show you how to recreate this.
If you're new to Kind of Cooking, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can see more recipes like this.
This thing is hard to find and it's
hella expensive.
Yes, it
Holy
is so
cow.
expensive. Every time we see it at the supermarket, it's like, oh, we should try it because like I see it everywhere on the internet. But it's like this pack was $9.
Guys, and I thought there was 6 inside. I'm like, okay, $9, 6, okay. When we opened it, there was 4. I only knew that after we bought it.
I mean, I knew there was 4. I knew what we were going into, but in this box, you can totally fit 6.
But anyhow.
These people are laughing to the bank.
Well, maybe not, because we've tried this recipe like 10 times now. And so we're going to go through everything we kind of learned, and maybe it is worth the $9.
Well, since we did all the trial and error for you, then maybe it's worth it for you to make it at home now.
Okay, let's give it a try. So the first thing we learned is the type of flour.
I don't know if you had bubble tea the next day or like a few hours after, the bubbles get really, really hard. We didn't really think of that, so we took literally 5-6 tries to try to make the perfect bubble, which we achieved. But once you freeze that sucker, it's like hard as rocks. It's like freaking like breaking my teeth.
Like, we were so happy with the bubbles, they were so amazing. Took a bite. Then we just turned off the camera. For you, we have a video now in the description for how to make the best tapioca balls.
Yes, for your drinks, not for freezing. I started to read the ingredients to see what's inside this, and it turns out that they use a chemical type of flour that is not
readily available
for home cooks. Yeah. So that keeps things nice and soft inside the freezer. So we couldn't do that. So we looked into gelatin, then we found out that Jello freezes funny, and then mochi. Those are in the freezer, and the mochi remains soft. So that's what we went with.
Sort of. We went, instead of using, what's it called? Mochicano? Mochiano?
Mochico.
Mochico. Instead of using Mochico, we were using glutinous rice flour.
And
so
even that I made a mistake because I just used like, oh, we have that. It was just regular rice flour.
Glutinous.
You need glutinous. The green package. There's the red package and the green package. You need the green package. The red package just disintegrates in the water.
First thing, glutinous rice flour. We're gonna put that in. Of course, brown sugar boba. You're gonna need brown sugar. We're using a Taiwanese style. It's not clumpy and it's a little fine, like, I guess, drier.
This one is like sand. You can probably use the regular Western one as well.
Yeah, so brown sugar goes in. We're gonna use some boiling hot water here. All in, mix it all together.
Now you see a shaggy dough forming, so we're getting close.
Okay, you just wanna fold up any remaining rice flour in here or sugar, whatever's left in there. Just fold that all in. I like to dump it out onto a silicone mat, and then we're gonna knead it a couple of times. So it should be soft and supple. If it's dry or wet, you did not do it properly. So soft, supple dough. It should not just fall apart when you do this. So that's enough, only a couple of times. Okay, you're looking for something that's like this. It's really soft, it's mushy, it's a little sticky. You don't want it too dry, too wet. It's ready to go. We like to cover it in some plastic wrap when we make the balls. So this is the part that Carmen has mastered.
I did.
Maybe.
So instead of just like rolling it out and cutting it because it's so soft, I just pick it out and pinch it and just roll it in my hand and put it in a bowl.
Yep. And we put it into a bowl with a little more glutinous rice flour so they don't just all stick together.
And it's important to coat the balls in the flour every now and then, otherwise it would just be one giant clump. You just pinch them, you put 2 together, and then you roll it together. You can even do 3 or 4. I'm only comfortable at the level of 2.
On camera.
Or I like to call this the snot rolling technique. Is this too gross for you guys? Because, you know.
This is going to be the most
tedious
part of this whole exercise.
Make sure the boba is not too big because it will take over your entire ice cream. And also it doesn't matter if they're not super round because once it's frozen inside the ice cream, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Nope. So while Carmen continues doing rolling bubbles for the next hour, I'm going to make the sugar syrup. And we're doing it a little earlier because you want it to cool down before you put it into a mold. Get your heat on We're gonna go in with dark brown sugar again. We're gonna go equal parts sugar to equal parts water.
This brown sugar syrup we're making will add on to that caramelization taste. It's got that little bit of like burnt taste and also add on to that marbling effect on the ice cream bars.
When you're working with sugar, you want to be really careful. It burns very quickly, so you have to keep an eye on it, keep it moving. Don't let it burn, okay? Consistently stir so it doesn't stick in any one spot and burn. So when you get it to about here, it's a nice syrup here. We're gonna turn off the heat. We're gonna go back in with some water and cornstarch. Use about a teaspoon and a half of cornstarch. And we're gonna put water. Give this a good stir. And so we're gonna pour this in while mixing. And then the flame back on until it comes back to a boil. It's gonna be fast. Right about here, we're good and off. So I'm looking for a consistency somewhere like this, a nice thick syrup. I know you're gonna wanna taste it. Don't do it, okay? This is going to be really hot.
He's speaking from experience.
Yes, I tried to lick it and I lost my taste buds for 3 days. Once this is cool, we're gonna put this into a squeeze bottle. It's gonna really help us when we're trying to fill the molds. And as this cools, we're going to boil a pot of water to make these bubbles.
The pearls are finally ready. Make sure they are well sifted with the flour and just kind of gently break up anything that's clumped together. They're pretty fragile right now. And before you boil it in the water, you want to sift out the excess flour.
You need to make sure the water is at a complete rolling boil.
And make sure you have something ready to stir because you need to do that immediately.
Okay, so all of these going in. Perfect. Stir, 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 stir.
These cook much faster than tapioca pearls. Tapioca pearls, the total cooking time from boiling to resting is about an hour. These will be done in a few minutes. So when they have all floated on top and give it a couple of minutes, we're good to go. That's it. That's all the boiling you have to do.
We're back with our wok. I didn't bother cleaning it out. We're going to put the same things in. So we're going to turn it on. We're going to go in with a little sugar just to start a caramelization in there. I didn't really measure this out, but it won't really make a difference. And then in with your bubbles.
You know, this is why when you order brown sugar bubble tea, you can't adjust the sweetness because the bubbles itself is already cooked in brown sugar, so you can't take that out. I think you need more, Kevin.
Yes, more sugar, right? Yes. You want to get all around nice and coated. Somewhere like that is good. Okay, turn down the heat. You don't want to burn it. We're just going to mix it all now. So before you make this recipe, make sure you have a whole bag of sugar. You're going to need it. If you're on a diet, you probably don't want to make this.
And again, you probably want to taste one, but don't because this is really, really hot.
So we set that aside, we let that cool, and we work on our ice cream.
Now we're going to make the ice cream for the ice cream bar, but before you do, make sure you put everything in the fridge. Everything needs to be cold. So the bowl needs to be cold, the heavy cream needs to be cold, and the condensed milk needs to be cold.
Fairly simple. We're going to take some heavy cream. We're going to put into a nice cold bowl, and then we're going to mix it. So once you get about here, when it's a little nice soft peak here, we're going to add in our condensed milk. Make sure it's nice and cold. So we tried this recipe with more condensed milk because that's your initial thought. You're like, condensed milk, let's just put tons of it. What could go wrong?
It's so sweet. It's so sweet that it hurt my teeth.
Yeah, don't forget, like, you're going to have sugar syrup, you're going to have sugar in your bobas, you're going to have sugar in your, well, everywhere. We're going to mix it again until it's a nice, I guess, stiffer peak. It doesn't need to be a complete whipped cream. Okay, something like that works. Everything is ready. We tried a bunch of methods, right? We tried spooning it in, it's a mess. So the best way we found so far is to do it with a bag. If you have a piping bag, make use of it. I'm gonna use my Vitamix. I'm gonna open this up. We have these molds. Not my favorite, but they're workable. We're gonna layer this. We're gonna take a spoon of cream. Better?
Yes, thank you.
Spoon of cream, make a mess, and then in with the spoon of, so good. A spoon of bubbles, and then a spoon of cream. You want more cream to bubble ratio, okay? If you have too many bubbles, it's not gonna come together.
And also, any leftover bubble will not go to waste. You can make yourself a brown sugar milk after this for all your hard work.
Once we have that, we have a nice baggie here with our mix. I like to give it a little press here and there so that we can make sure it disperses the bubbles nice and evenly. We bring it all to a corner. We're gonna snip the end.
Now it's the assembly. So I'm gonna use this brown sugar syrup that we had, and I'll try to drizzle it all over the place.
I like just putting a thick ring around like the mid area, mid to top. Yep. Because you want the ice cream to push it down, because if you let this go, all of this will be at the bottom. Okay, let's pipe this in. You can see the bubbles coming out. You can see the ice cream is nice and even throughout. Okay, once you get to about here, you want to give it a little tap on the table. And then we fill it up the rest of the way.
You don't want to fill it up too much. You won't be able to close it.
Ours has a built-in popsicle stick. If you don't have a popsicle stick, you don't want to push in all the way to the bottom. You want to go about 3/4 of the way down. If you need to fill more in here, what I found great were these little bag clips that we had around. So we just clip off the end, okay? Eat that little bit, put it back in our piping container, and we go back in. Let's go in with bubbles first. We know you want to eat this. You just took it out of the freezer. You have a couple options here. If you just try and pull this out, it will probably stick to the sides and you'll just end up with a stick. So you're going to want to run this under hot water for a couple of seconds, not too long, and then you'll be able to pull it out. Our second way and our preferred method is just to leave it on the table for a couple minutes, and then so it'll easily pull out and it'll just be a little softer. Ready?
Ours look a little funky because we were filming. Still good.
And we eat a bite. The caramelization of the sugar is really nice. You know what it actually needs? Next time I should add a pinch of salt. Look close?
It actually looks pretty close. Well, I mean, obviously this is Photoshop.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of marbleized throughout, and there's bubbles all over.
I feel like taste-wise it's great. The bubbles, although soft, are not as soft as this, but they are still soft.
Now that you know exactly how to make it, will you make it again?
I'm not going to pay for $9 for 4. I don't mind making it. I don't like the hardest part is the bubbles.
But
and now we're pretty quick at it now.
So if you like this video, give us a big thumbs up and let us know if there's anything else you want us to recreate.
A little helping hand here.
Too much helping hand, Kevin.
Too much helping hand, but see, it's very even. The bubbles and the cream came out together.